Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're tackling a huge topic, equality. Now, we usually think it means treating everyone the same, right? But what if I told you that simple idea of sameness is actually one of the biggest hurdles to creating a world that's genuinely fair? Let's dig in. Really think about that for a second. Does real equality mean giving every single person the exact same things, the same rules, no matter their circumstances? On the surface, yeah, it sounds perfectly fair. But the reality? Well, it's a whole lot more interesting and way more complex than that. Okay, so to get to the heart of this, let's start with the definition of equality that most of us probably learned. It's an idea that seems super straightforward, but it's actually built on a pretty big misunderstanding. This is what's known as formal equality. The thinking here is simple. If you give every child the same textbook, the same rules, the same amount of time for a test, then poof, you've got fairness. It's a clean equation. Equality equals sameness. But as we're about to find out, that math just doesn't always add up in the real world. And this right here is the core of the whole thing. On one side, you have this idea of treating everyone the same, but on the other side, you've got a totally different goal, making sure everyone has a fair outcome. And this second approach, this substantive equality, is the key we're really going to unlock today. So to really see why sameness can sometimes be the most unfair thing you can do, let's look at a real-world situation. Because out here, in the real world, context is absolutely everything. I want you to picture this. You're a teacher at an early childhood center. The day starts, but you know that some of your kids have shown up to school without having had anything for breakfast. They are starting the day completely empty. So if you stick to that strict formal equality idea and start the first lesson for everyone at the exact same time, are you actually being fair? Of course not. A hungry child can't focus, they can't learn. In this case, treating everyone the same is pretty much guaranteeing an unequal outcome. And this is exactly where we need a deeper, smarter kind of fairness. It's not enough to just treat everyone the same. We have to think about what they actually need to have a real shot at success. And that brings us to this really powerful idea of substantive equality. Substantive equality completely flips the script. It says the goal isn't identical treatment. It's about ensuring identical opportunity. It recognizes that, hey, we all start from different places, and to truly level the playing field, some of us might need different kinds of support. Like, for instance, making sure those hungry kids get a meal so they have the same chance to learn as everybody else. And this isn't just some feel-good philosophy. This is a principle that's actually written into law in places all over the world. In South Africa, for example, their entire constitution is built on this very idea. The point isn't just to have rights written down on paper, but to make sure that every single person can actually experience those rights in their daily lives. So this leads to a really interesting and maybe kind of counterintuitive question. If we're treating people differently to create fairness, where do we draw the line? Sometimes treating people differently is not only good, it's essential. So how do we tell the difference between fair differentiation and unfair discrimination? Well, here's the crucial difference. Fair differentiation is all about removing a barrier, like giving a student with a learning disability extra time on a test. Unfair discrimination, on the other hand, creates a barrier, like refusing to let that student into the school in the first place. One opens a door, the other one slams it shut. So here it is. Here is the simple test you can apply to pretty much any situation. When you see someone being treated differently, just ask yourself this one question. Does this action help to level the playing field for everyone, or does it actually exclude someone and put them at a disadvantage? That one question gets you right to the very heart of substantive equality. Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's break down how we can bring this concept to life, say, in a real classroom. Think about language. A classroom that has a strict only one language rule is a perfect example of formal equality. Everyone gets the same rule, but it immediately puts kids who are still learning that language at a huge disadvantage. The better way, the more inclusive way, is to bring in stories and pictures in lots of different languages, so every single kid feels like they belong. You see, putting this into practice is all about making small, deliberate choices. It means changing an activity a little bit, instead of just excluding a child who's having a hard time. It means choosing books and songs where every kid in your class can see someone who looks like them. It's about being flexible, being aware, and being intentional about creating a space where every single person can thrive. And this really says it all, doesn't it? True equality is not about treating children identically. It's about giving every child what they uniquely need to belong, to participate, and to flourish. So here's the takeaway. The next time you think about fairness, don't just ask, is everyone being treated the same? Instead, ask this, does everyone have what they need to succeed? Just imagine what could change if we all started asking that question everywhere.